Shamzilla's hot seat boxing. Shamzilla's hot seat boxing. Shamzilla's hot seat boxing. Shamzilla's hot seat boxing. Let's go.
Yo, what up? This is Shamzilla from Shamzilla's Hot Seat Boxing. Chopping it up with Head Bussin Boxing. Let's go. Let's get it. Let's get it in.
All right. What did you think about the Taylor Ramirez fight?
I mean, just to answer the question real quick, I kind of thought that Josh Taylor's boxing IQ was just better than Ramirez before the fight. And then, even though Ramirez put up a good fight and he got some skills, but I mean, the combination work, the speed, the body work, I mean, he was just a better boxer, man. That's all I saw. You know, and I saw that I knew that before it even happened, but Josh was just a better boxer. Period.
If he move up to fight Terrence Crawford, or if they meet at a catch weight or whatever, do you give him a shot against Bud Crawford?
Man, both of them dudes need to stay away from TC, man. Period. they ain't got it, man. They don't got the goods like that. I mean, when you put two fighters like that together, you can see a difference. You can see class. You can see skill. You can see counterpunching. But it's levels to the game, man. And I just don't think Josh can handle Terrence Crawford's power. I mean, Ramirez, the first 5 rounds, Ramirez was giving him the business.
Yeah, he was.
he was pressuring him. He was giving him the business, man. Terrence ain't going to... If you let Terrence... If you go 5 rounds with Terrence like that, by the 6th round, you're not going to have that uppercut power. You're not going to have that finish power. Because Terrence First of all, Terrence is in shape, okay? We both know that. Terrence Crawford comes and he can fight 12 rounds. And all 12 rounds, he's got the power, he's got the speed, all 12 rounds. And I just think Terrence Crawford IQ is just too high. I don't think Josh is going to be able to take that power, because you can't take away from TC's power. I mean, he done sat down some big 147-pounders already, and 140, you know how he did them, you know, being unified and everything. But I just think that it's very unfortunate we didn't get to see the TC Pacquiao fight or TC Errol Spence. But anybody that Terrence Crawford fight right now, besides Sean Porter, I really don't even want to see it. I got to see Terrence Crawford against I got to see him against an opponent that's going to test him. And from what I saw between Josh Taylor and Ramirez, I don't think they got what it takes to push Terrence Crawford nowhere. That's just my observation. You know, it's hard to watch 2 other guys fight and compare it to what you think they're going to do against another person. We both know that, but come on, man. That performance, man, wasn't Terrence Crawford worthy.
Okay.
I thought Josh was going to dominate Ramirez.
I didn't. I thought it was going to be close, but honestly, I thought he got him out of there. When he dropped him with that uppercut, I thought it was a done deal. I did not think he was getting up. But with that being said, let me throw a couple names out, and I'll let you go in on them. As far as Bud Crawford goes, now we'll talk about the whole Pacquiao Spence thing in a second, but because we know he ain't gonna be able to fight either one of those. But what about Bud versus Keith Thurman?
I would love to see the fight because, I mean, a lot of people hate on KT, man, but, man, I'm a Keith Thurman fan. And I think Keith Thurman is actually one of the best boxers at 147. I mean, who else can keep Sean Porter off of him? Errol Spence couldn't keep him off of him. Errol Spence could not keep Sean Porter off of him. If you look at the fight with Keith Thurman and Sean Porter legs, man, is so good, and his angles are so good, and he got enough power to maybe second guess that stutter step jumping in with the body work, you know? He had Sean Porter on the outside until Sean Porter, you know, pushed him against the ropes, and then he didn't land nothing because Keith Thurman had good defense. I would love to see Keith Thurman against Terrence Crawford. The only problem is that we both got to realize is that Keith Thurman been out the ring for a long time.
Right.
He need a tune-up fight. He need to get at least 2 fights in before he get back in the game. He done been out too long.
Well,
That's just how I feel.
Out of Keith's own mouth, he said he damaged goods, and he said his left elbow so messed up he don't even know if he can throw a left hook anymore. So that don't sound all that good to me. But I will say this: Sean Porter said since the Terrence Crawford fight isn't happening, that the 2 people he's targeting or the two guys that he's looking to make a fight with is Keith Thurman and Mikey Garcia. But maybe we'll talk about that a little later too. Now, to me, the fight that makes the most sense to me, if you Bud Crawford and you can't get Manny Pacquiao, and you can't get if you can't get Errol Spence, why not go after the other title holder and take on Ugas? What do you think about Bud Crawford versus Ugas?
I think he can. He gonna give TC some problem, but a 12-round decision, I get a TC. TC gonna outwork him. Ugas don't throw that many punches. And Ugas is kind of slow, if you ask me. I mean, that fight he did with Sean Porter, I thought that was close. But Ugas is a big 147-pounder. You know, Sean Porter couldn't bully him. But I would love to see that. But what I really would like, just me, personally, I would love to see Terrence Crawford just knock out one of them little young bucks thinking they coming up.
Okay,
I would like for him to go after Ortiz.
I'm glad you said that. Nah. You said what I was about to ask you next. I was gonna go to I was literally about to go to Ortiz next, Virgil Ortiz. So you jumped the gun on that one a little bit, but to me, now I'll answer that.
Knock out one of them little prospects. Show everybody that ain't nobody coming up. Just make a statement. Be like, look, sit your little ass down.
No.
You ain't coming in. Be the gatekeeper. Right now, you got to be the gatekeeper. You ain't going to get no belt fight. Be the gatekeeper.
Now,
and before you move on to your next question, I gotta say something. I gotta say this one point. I gotta get this off. Sean Porter, man, he come on there talking about some ain't no mandatories, and man, come on, man. You supposed to activate your mandatory clause. You can't make up something right now. We've been watching people activate mandatory clause. We've been watching people activate that for years. And all of a sudden, y'all don't even know boxing. You gonna tell us we don't know boxing and mandatory clauses don't exist and things like that? Yo, you ducking.
Well,
I don't think he wanted to fight. Wait a minute. Well, let me make my disclaimer so nobody won't come on my butt after. Maybe he just wanted the money. Because if you activate your mandatory clause, you gotta take what they give you. So he might be looking for the payday. He probably wasn't getting the money. Maybe if he activated his mandate clause, he wouldn't get the money that he wanted for the fight. He would have to take what they offered, or he'd have to go to bid. And he didn't want that. He was trying to get an offer, Because if Sean Porter lose again, it's a wrap for him.
Ironically enough, I was just on IG and they're reporting that the WBO issued Anthony Joshua a demand that he fight Usyk, because he's his mandatory. So I found that a little interesting that you said Sean Porter said that. Now I didn't hear that interview, but I'll take your word for it. But I find that funny because like literally over the last 24 hours, the WBO issued a mandatory fight, and we're talking about Terrence Crawford, who holds the WBO. So to say that mandatories don't exist, I find that a little funny. Let's go.
I'll send you the link to that.
Oh no, it ain't even that serious to me. I'll take your word for it. But let's move on. Bud Crawford versus Bussin. What would you think about that one?
At this point, because of the situation, knock him off. If you can, get him out of there. Set the standard. Be like, look, these little young bucks ain't coming up. Then nothing.
Yeah.
If he shut down Boots the way they hyping Boots right now, the way they hyping Ortiz right now, knock one of them off, man, right now. That will give you some props. That will let everybody know that Sean Porter, Errol Spence, Pacquiao, Mikey Garcia, Keith Thurman, they all shouldn't be talking about nothing but fighting TC.
Right.
He got to knock out. If he knock off one of them little dudes or one of them come-ups, it's a wrap. Now, if he get in there with Boots and Boots give him the business, and he just win by and he win by decision, then yeah, he got problems. But that's his only. I mean, think about it. You asked me a question about should he fight either one of them prospects, right?
Right.
Or them contenders, right? But think about it. What other choice do he got? Right now, his promoter's throwing him over, man.
Yeah, he is. He is.
Now, while we at this point, I gotta make another point. I gotta put out a disclaimer. I gotta put out a disclaimer right now. Now check this out. You remember when Errol Spence said a long time ago that Terrence Crawford is on the wrong side of the street, and everybody jumped on Errol Spence. Everybody jumped on Errol Spence, and what that means, you need to fight the best and all that, right? All the Errol Spence haters came out and talked crazy. But you know what Errol Spence just did? He just proved to you that Terrence Crawford is on the wrong side of the road. Period. TC was in negotiations with Pacquiao. The fight didn't happen. You got Top Rank negotiating with PBC. Okay? With Al Heyman. Bob Earl didn't want to put up the $20 million. Fight didn't happen. So how the fight happened? First of all, who in the hell put a battery in Pacquiao's back to make him even accept the fight with Errol Spence? That's crazy. That man, that boy gonna get his ass beat. Spence gonna lay it on him, and they both PBC. So the fight happened. Al Heyman made the fight because why? They both from the same side of the street. Pacquiao got his money that he wanted. Errol Spence wants the Pacquiao on his resume, and Pacquiao basically accepted the fight for the money. You gotta remember, man, Pacquiao getting ready to run for president over here in the Philippines. He need that money. That's the only reason why he took that fight with Errol, because he already know he's gonna get his ass beat. Ain't no way in hell Pacquiao going into that fight with confidence, man. Errol Spence gonna beat the shit out of Pacquiao, man.
Oh, real quick, you know, he said now,
and they both southpaw.
You know, previously before they signed this contract, when they was talking about him fighting Mikey Garcia, he was saying this gonna be his last fight. So yeah, I do think it was a money grab. I believe that. Now let me say this.
Pacquiao going in that ring. Go ahead.
Nah, go ahead and finish the statement, then I want to jump in on that.
Pacquiao going in that ring, and he training to survive. Because once he takes 100 jabs a round for 3 rounds, he gonna be like, I ain't beating this dude. Errol too big for him, first of all. Errol boxing IQ is too big. And that left hand ain't gonna work because they both southpaw. How you gonna catch him out of step when y'all lined up the same? The only reason why that quick, straight left hand lands for Pacquiao in this fight because he's fighting orthodox boxers. And they get caught slipping. But if they both angled the same way, how you gonna land that left hand on Errol? When Errol keep his hands up for 12 rounds. Errol's hands is by both his jaws for 12 rounds, man. Come on.
Well, now I will say this.
And the pressure. Oh my God. Pacquiao gonna get backed up that fight, man. Pacquiao can't fight backing up.
That was what I wanted to say right there. That was what I wanted to jump in. That's what I wanted to jump in at a few minutes ago to say. The one thing I took away from that Keith Thurman fight, when Keith Thurman was trying to box Pacquiao, that's when Pacquiao was lighting him up. But when Keith used his size and pressed Manny and pushed and forced him backwards, and,
That was a problem.
and started throwing a lot of power shots, it was very much a problem. And Errol Spence is bigger than Keith Thurman, probably stronger than. And I don't know if he hit harder, but he definitely stronger than Keith Thurman. I can definitely see him backing him up. Now, I've never seen Errol take any big shots, so that's going to, Kell Brook maybe. But it's going to be interesting to see how Errol look if he takes some of the shots that Keith had to take early in that fight. But if he pressing Manny and backing Manny up, I think Manny gonna be in trouble. I think Manny gonna have to definitely use more boxing than we probably seen him use over recent times. He might have to get on his toes a little bit with Errol. I don't see him going head up with Errol and winning. But then again, you never know. Errol might have problems with Pacquiao's speed. Errol haven't been in there with anybody as fast as Manny either, so that's going to be interesting. But if Errol's able to back him up, I see problems for Manny Pacquiao.
If Keith back him up, Errol gonna back him up even worse.
Right.
Shamzilla's hot seat boxing. Shamzilla's hot seat boxing. Shamzilla's hot seat boxing. Shamzilla's hot seat boxing. Let's go.